Hello.
Happy Wednesday. I see Alexander tuning in. Thanks for joining us live, you guys.
Alexander, what up, my brother? That's my soul brother. So love you, man. We love you, man. So good to see you. This is going to be a fun, quick one, guys. A powerful one. This is your permission. Welcome. Hello, Facebook. Hello, YouTube. I love these Wednesday and Friday lives because it kind of gives yourself, whenever you guys are looking or watching this back, like your 15-minute, permission to be with us and elevate yourself and expand your business, expand your energy, expand your soul, and just create and play and be in flow, which is so fun. So I'm so pumped for today. And this topic is really, really fun. It's fun because, Sarah and I have been in this total energy of just, with this immersion coming up, just magic and really playing, dancing with the universe in all areas of life. And it's so flipping fun just to know, what laws we work with. And it is this flow. The world is magical. The universe is magical. When you choose to decide that that's how it works, and then you start seeing all of these things pop into your experience that feels like magic, but it's really just you tuning in to who we truly are, right? And where we truly are in this time-space reality. So I love this topic today, you guys. Totally falls in line with what we're about. Empress energy, knowing your worth. No more hustling, no more chasing. We attract. We vibrate at a frequency that attracts our desires, attracts our soulmate clients, and now I'm so pumped, attracts, the divine right sales for you, so that we have now clients that are closing a 70% closing rate or higher with their sales, which Sarah did some real estate, and like that's massive actually. So celebrating that.
Yeah. I mean, just a little bit, anybody in sales or business or has a business background knows that a respectable closing ratio is somewhere between like 30 and 40%, right? To have a respectable, if I was to go on, I would probably close like 50% of my listings. So if I went on 10 listings, I'd close 50%. That was really good. That was like a really respectable closing ratio, right? Sometimes more, but 30 to 40 in general, of course, it's going to vary by industry standard. But when we have clients closing 7 out of 10 calls or 5 out of 6 calls, closing between a 70 and 80% ratio, it means you're hopping. If you're doing sales calls and you're going to hop on sales calls, those take time. You want to make sure that obviously you're hopping on calls with soulmate clients. And when Vanessa talks about things popping into your experience, this is how it works with soulmate clients too. But we just wanted to share with you a little bit today about what the magic is behind that, because that's actually not even our word. That's the word our clients use to describe their sales calls. That's the word that I use to describe my sales calls back when I did them, right? And Vanessa and I, this is how we describe pretty much the entire brand that we're building now, because this is what it feels like.
And our life.
Yeah. And it's so beautiful. But magic is the word that our clients have used to describe their sales calls. And I just wanted to say, it's not sales strategy that we're teaching them. We're teaching them embodiment principles. We're helping them come into authentic alignment with who they are here to serve, the message that they're here to share, and the divine creation that wants to get birthed through them, that is tethered to their heartstrings, that really is tethered to their soul. That is going to be a magnetic match to the person that needs it. This is how you create magnetic content. This is how you create a magnetic program. This is how you call in soulmate clients. So if you are going to be hopping on calls, you're only attracting from the get-go, because everything is led up to that, people that are truly, truly in alignment with your offering and what is being called on your heart to create. Because you've positioned yourself in that way to be in alignment from start to finish. And so the end product can only be what God wants to create through you. And of course, that's going to be a magnetic match for the souls that need that experience with you. This is when you start to hear people in your messages and in your feed, or shooting you an email, or sending you messages like, oh my God, I just heard about this. I know I need to be in your program. How do I work with you? Or they'll read they'll be following you for a while. Maybe they'll never comment, or they'll never like anything that you have put out there, because they're just watching you behind the scenes, absorbing your messaging, absorbing what it is that you're feeling guided to share. And then boom, it's like, I've been watching you for a while. How do I join? And out of the blue, go ahead, Vanessa. Yeah.
I was going to say what is coming up that we always talk about, you guys, and let's tap in, to drop in for a second and give yourself the chance even ask yourself, if you're in business, how are you energetically before you come up on that call? How are you showing up? Like, what are you feeling in your body? And you know this, and you can test yourself, because if there's any hint of a neediness, like, oh my God, and you're thinking of the bills you have to pay, I need this sale right now, I need this, like, that's not the Empress, I just got chills, that's not the Empress energy. So I love talking about how it's such an energetic game, because you get to show up, and the Empress knows her worth, and she's not attached. She's unattached, where then it doesn't become some sales call. It becomes an exchange, an energetic sacred, which is why we talk about sacred sales, but that sacred exchange. So the biggest thing that we see and we teach is just really energetically being unattached, and there's not that needy energy, because when you have that, the universe will only give you that back, right? That needy energy. So that's massive with being unattached and really practicing that vibration of knowing your worth and being unattached and showing up in service and exchange and not needing it, not needing anything, because a true Empress knows she's already complete, she's full. And that's when you can get in that alignment. That's like when Sarah says you'll have someone, because you're not even thinking about it, right? And just like, boom, someone comes in your inbox, or someone who was, you know, you interviewed a year ago that happened, you know, just like, oh, I was just thinking about you, now is the time. And it's like that energy lines up, where then you get to beautifully have those sales beautifully go through, and it gets to just work. And that's why I love like this idea of magic, is like, it's not really magic because everything's always working out for us, but it's kind of fun to be like, oh my God, it feels like magic, because yeah, that surprise and that delight and that just energy of sparkles that we love. So does that make sense? I love that unattachment flair is huge that we talk about.
Yeah, this is what Vanessa and I are so passionate about, helping to teach as it relates to sales and business. And this is what we're teaching in our immersion as well. It's so much about, okay, so divine creation on the front end, making sure that everything that you're creating comes from, you're creating from soul. This is divine feminine leadership, right? You're creating from soul. You're allowing that to come through. So on the front end, you're in complete alignment. Now on the back end, now you have to work with your own energetic, what you're able to receive in your container, and how big that is, your energetic container to receive. And so showing up in any neediness energy is obviously going to push a lot of your clients away. But as far as, I wanted to just dive into a little bit about what does it look like if you're in your opposite of your Empress energy. Obviously the neediness is one thing. When we play with these archetypes, right? Because I'm really big on working with some of the archetypes, which are just basically a fancy way of saying, you know, energetic patterns that we can see that are in the collective and that you're tapped into. One of the big ones could be, you know, the prostitute archetype. And this is where you sell yourself short for outside validation or approval or safety or security. So if you're in that prostitute energy where you are, you know, nickel and diming yourself, let's say you hop on a sales call and you're charging $3,000 for your program, but you really want to charge $5,000. However, you are, you know, you're so afraid you're not going to close the sale if you raise your prices, that you stay in a price that is not serving you, that you already know does not feel good to you. But because you're in that prostitute energy instead of that Empress energy, fully knowing your worth, knowing what you bring to the table, fully in alignment with the program and the offer that you created. So assuming that piece is an irresistible offer, right? You get to the table, you get to the sales call, and it feels icky, and it feels like a sales call because you're in this needy energy, and you're not even maybe potentially aligned with the pricing that you're offering, because you're selling yourself short because you need that safety or security that or whatever. So you're willing to sell yourself $2,000 in this example off the price of what you really truly want to be charging. And you know what happens in this scenario? You actually raise your price and you'll get your first sale, because it's an energetic game, guys. Go ahead, Vanessa.
Isn't that fun? Like, think about that. How did you feel in that sentence right there? Like, can you be open to that? Can you accept that? Can you get excited about that? Like, that's truth. That's fun. And I love that we work with these higher laws, you guys, because there's so much working behind the scenes for us. We show up and do our part, but I love that. Like what Sarah just said, it's magic. Isn't it ironic? It's an energetic game. When you sometimes raise your price, you get into alignment with what you feel, because you trust the source within you, the Empress, the source, the higher part within you, and you stick to that faithfully, right? Unwavering faith. And it's amazing what is just drawn to you. Like, that is cool. And why this gets us so excited is because Oh, especially like in the spiritual world we talk about all the time too. There are so many people that like, and I love learning about all the spiritual businesses, all the missions on our driven clients' hearts that like just have these messages, these stories, these missions to get out. And there's a beautiful, like you should get paid massively for that, because truth is money is just energy as well. And it all comes back to our energetic game of what's going on inside. And it's it like, I mean, we couldn't say it enough. Like it really is all about energy. Everything is about energy and just aligning with that energetically.
Yeah. So, I mean, your pricing could be causing you to not fully show up in your Empress energy, or maybe the program's misaligned. Maybe you're over giving in it and you're spreading your time thin. And so that doesn't feel good. So you're not able to fully show up and embody the actual process of enrolling people into your program, because the other piece is not in alignment. So the magic that you feel on the sales call, which really just turns into being a powerful conversation, has to do with the embodiment and the alignment work that you're doing that gets you up to that point. And then obviously embodiment around your ability to open and receive, not block or sabotage, fully know your worth, and stand in that Empress energy with totally detached from the outcome. And this is when you're able to call in soulmate clients that feel like magic, where it's not even, there's no sales, traditional sales strategy. We can teach that. And there's some smart sales strategy on how to structure your funnels and this and that. And we don't deny that. That's part of like blending 3D reality with like the 5D that you're bringing through. So you can package it in a way that people can understand what you're doing, so that you can, impact the people that you're here to impact. But you guys, 70 to 80% closing ratio, and hopping on calls with soulmate clients that they're either a match for you now or they're a match for you later. That's pretty much all you should be calling in. They're either a match for you now or a match for you later. We have some that don't, I remember like Vanessa said, that didn't sign up, but a year later, she just popped into Facebook Messenger, was like, hey, I know it wasn't right at that particular moment. I'm ready now. How do I pay you? Boom, $7,000 sale. Out of the blue, we just show up, and that's it, right? But we're in alignment from start to finish. And so if you really, really want to be calling in soulmate clients that are a match for you now, that are ready for what you're creating, then you have to get alignment on the front end, and you have to open to your Empress energy on the back end, which is why the immersions that we're offering are so laser focused on this, you guys. So laser focused. You know that you're a good fit for the immersion if you've probably been at this for a while, you have sales under your belt, you're looking for more consistency, you're looking for it to be easy, you're looking for it to be in flow, you're over the hustle, you're looking to really scale to the next level with your income, with your impact, with your freedom, with your fun, and all of those things. And you're looking to really only create things that are a magnetic match, that are literally tethered to your heart, creating from soul, and then completely opening up to your Empress energy and dropping everything that keeps you selling yourself short. This is to play full out, you guys, your edge, your energetic edge, and in the physical 3D, play out to the edge. What massive $1 million idea are you ready to birth into the world that will literally help you be so abundantly supported, and the impact that you're here to make be massively, just one big ripple effect out into the world for everybody that you affect, and everybody that then is affected by that, because that's really what happens when you create from source. It's not just, this isn't about you, this is about the people you're serving and the people that they're coming into contact with too. It's one big ripple effect that affects the consciousness of everybody that comes into contact with your offer, directly and indirectly.
And it's actually, we've talked about too, it's disservice to not boast and shamelessly plug your programs. Get ready, get excited about having calling in, opening up space for so many sales calls that come through that are this beautiful exchange that you close, because that's another person that you're serving, that you're connecting, and it's like this dance. It's so fun. I just think it blows my mind how in a short time you could have a stranger on the other side of the world, find you because you show up wholeheartedly from intention. And then shortly after, they sign, they're with you, and both your lives are changed because you get to work in this dance of co-creation and expansion and elevation and heart exchanges of ideas and $1 million ideas birth, and all this fun of life. We live in such an infinite, limitless, abundantless world where there are endless ideas in here, right? And that's what gets us excited too about our immersions coming up and just immersions in general. Like there's endless ways to create and come from that heart space and beautifully sell your service to transform a life and impact the world collectively. Like that's just, it's fucking fun. It really is. And anyone that resonates with this, that like Sarah said, you know, you've been at it for a while, boom, these immersions, come join us live. Let's really get in and embody that Empress energy, right? And just get this done. Like get those sales in there, get your life free, more fun, more expanded. And I think like more than you could even imagine. Like when we work, I love working with divine force, divine source, because it's so beyond us. It's like there's so much going on behind the scenes for you that is just, it gets me excited. And yes, you show up, you do your part. There's so much that Sarah and I do behind the scenes, but then you have everything set up, and then it's like that you just get things delivered to you on that silver plate. That is just amazing when you get out of your own way and you energetically align to how easy and fun and abundant it can. It's now. It's constantly raining down for us.
Yeah, and there's and we're, we'll keep this short, but, we're just having this open, candid conversation. This is, there's going to be a level of releasing of control that is required. It takes a full trust in self, which is something that we truly, truly see is like an epidemic within the spiritual entrepreneur. You're going to have to fully trust yourself, you guys. You're going to have to fully trust yourself. You're going to have to trust your intuition. You're going to have to release the control. You're going to have to really get comfortable with not knowing the outcome and be willing to let the universe throw you, these redirections and surprises, and be able to roll with those punches. It's so much living in the flow. We're talking about divine feminine leadership right now, right? Fully embodying this Empress energy. There's a level of that is constricting you right now. If what I just said is hitting you, then you're being constricted right now and not fully blossoming and opening and allowing yourself to receive and be in that state of creation. So it gets uncomfortable, you guys. It's not like it's just butterflies and rainbows. It's going to get a little uncomfortable, but it's an energetic recalibration that's happening inside for you to fully fall into trust and faith and knowingness in your core. You guys, knowingness in your core. Your soul knows. We can talk to the mind all day long, and guess what? The mind will come up with a million other reasons why shit doesn't make sense, or you got to go do it this way, or this has to happen, or now I got to go focus on this, and the shiny object syndrome can come in, and maybe I should change my pricing, or maybe I should do that. You're going to be challenged and tested over and over and over again to drop into your knowingness and trust that intuition, trust your guidance, trust yourself. Have so much unwavering trust in yourself, and be willing to show up consistently over and over again. And here's the kicker: even when you don't see how it's going to play out, how it's going to work out, the results, you have no idea how they're coming into you, like how they're going to pop into your world. You have no fucking clue, but you just know that you're having so much fun doing it that it doesn't really matter. You don't even care. You're going to be doing it anyway. So you just have so much faith. Like Vanessa and I, for example, I'm just going to be super transparent. We have no idea. We have no idea. It's all flowing in. It's all just flowing in at the perfect time with the right people and the right, the right venue, the right this and that, the right message. Like everything's just flowing in. And to be honest, I really don't, and I'm using air quotes, care about the immersion. I don't care about the immersion. It's taken care of. I don't worry about it. It's taken care of. I don't care what it looks like. I don't care what has to happen to make it happen. I just know that I'm having fun showing up, drinking this kombucha out of my champagne glass with Vanessa, doing these live streams. And I'm going to keep doing it, because if I had it, I would be doing it anyways. So I'm just going to keep showing up because it fucking works. And somehow it works. And that's all I know. And I don't know anything else. And not knowing anything else is the most powerful place to be.
Ah, dude, let that land. Holy shit. It is a total release of control. And you know what, guys, whether you're new with us, with me and Sarah or not, welcome in. Like, this is so fun because we just have practiced so many times and know how it works, which is why we're so happy. Lean into our trust of how the universe works. We've done it so many times. We learn. You have that calling, like you don't, like she said, you don't have to know anything else, but you show the fuck up, you expect, and you let it the fuck go. Because when you let that go, what that really is, I have chills. It's God's source is so, and again, this is going to be deep for a second. There is no time. Time's an illusion. So when you ask, it's given. You've already, whether you know it consciously or subconsciously, you're asking, it's given, right? And since there's no time, we are the ones that put up these blocks, whether knowingly or subconscious. So when you are totally unattached and you're in this energy like we're talking about, what that's doing is literally crumbling around, like crumbling down any resistance that was up for all that you called in, just to go whoosh, like right to you. Like that is, I have chills. Like that is so powerful. And that's all being done for us. That's the laws of this universe we live in, right? So when you, and that goes back to the trust thing, and that's why I love, yes, there's sales strategy, which is beautiful, but isn't it more fucking fun and easier just to go with like the higher sources that's like ruling this all and work with divine source in this sales, like in closing higher than 70%? Like that is just more fucking fun. And side note, that's the way it's supposed to be. Like that is the way it's supposed to be.
I think, you know, I'm going to give a shout out to Nazarene, who's on our live right now. She's one of our clients in SLA, and she helps people find their soulmate. And I think she can attest, if she was on this live with us, that, you know, that neediness energy, and you probably can attest, you know, the moment you let go and you don't need it anymore and you move into this Empress energy, and, you know, and Vanessa's got a story about this, right?
A good story. I love my story.
I think Nazarene can share too with her clients that she helps with finding their soulmate, you know, getting out of that energy. You're not going to attract in something that you feel is lacking. How can you?
Yes.
Right. So side note, I just wanted to share.
I love Nazarene. And side note to Nazarene. So she's shown up. She has grown so much, and she's felt like she's continuous, right? With her actions, and just it's that energy she shifted. But congrats, my girl. Like I see you beaming, and I love you so much. Such a beautiful soul with such a massive mission.
So reach out to Nazarene reach out to Nazarene if you're working on relationships and attracting in the perfect relationship. And Vanessa has a beautiful story about that tdo real quick. I mean, do you want to share that?
I mean, we can, or we can just do another one, because like I feel like this was really good today. We'll come back and do another one, but it ties into just, it's the unattachment, like, yeah. And we can do that another time, because it's such a good story of, and we'll close on this, and we will come back to that story. I promise you guys. I'm so excited. But here's the thing. Oh, this is so fucking fun. I love you. Here's the thing. I understand, Sarah, and I understand it's a heavy thing to ask you to not care and to release when there is something that is a heightened stakes. Again, like you have the bills to pay, all this, you haven't signed a client in a month, all this stuff. I get how in the 3D world that can build up, and it's a big task for us to ask you to kind of let that go and be unattached when all that is happening around you. But guys, trust us. When you can do that, find any way to do that, to get yourself energetically in a space of knowing your worth, knowing your Empress energy, knowing who you are and what you're working with. When you can do that, it is like magic, guys. And it can turn around so fucking quick. It really, really can. It really can.
And it's really simple to do that, guys. It doesn't have to be difficult. What Vanessa's sharing, you know, your ships do come in over a don't care sea. And this doesn't mean you don't care. It just means you're not in your head anymore. It's a fancy way of saying get into your soul that knows and get out of your head. Because the soul does not look for future projections and doesn't need the validation. And it also isn't running from the fear or the lack of anything, right? Or the repeating of the past or anything like that. So get out of your head and get into your heart, and you will naturally release all of the future projected expectations that are holding yourself hostage, and you will automatically let go of everything in the past that you're trying to run from, or you're afraid of recreating because you had some failure in the past or whatnot, and you still haven't reframed it, whatever the case may be. Get out of your head, get into your heart, spend some time being in the present moment. Because this is where it happens. The magic happens in the present moment, you guys. This is not something you're going to be able to conceptually figure out, okay, well, how do I get into this Empress energy? You're already lost if that's how you're trying to figure out. It's a state of beingness, you guys. It happens in the present moment, where the fear is an illusion. You come into truth and you come into knowingness when you can get into that present moment. So spend some time in self-reflection, spend some time in solitude, spend some time in nature, spend some time just, you know, I love a little side tip. I just want to end on this. Like, one of the things that Eckhart Tolle uses as a recommendation for this that I just find works really well is listening to the silence. When you go about your day, you can hear the birds and you can hear this and you can hear that, but how often do you just tune into the silence? The silence in the 3D world, in the macro, is a direct metaphor and reflection for the silence in the soul within you. And so if you can spend your day tuning in and just listening to the silence of which everything emerges and dissolves, the sound to come, a car will pass you and then it'll fade away, and you can hear it come and you can hear it go. But what about the silence in between that? Like, when you can be so tapped into the silence in your reality, and then you can experience everything that emerges from that and dissolves from that space. You are instantly being tapped into your inner beingness, you guys. And this is where you have peace, and this is where you're not running from the fear or the future, having the future projections.
Did I tell you too, my girl, this is so beautiful. I have chills. This is so fun. I went for a walk this morning because, like, finally it's like a day where it's like 40 here. So we're like, oh my God, it's beach weather over on the East Coast. So I went for a walk. Lord, 40. So I went for a walk, and Sarah, my girl, oh my God, you would have loved this. It's so easy, guys, to be like, you to think you're doing what Sarah's saying, but then be so in your head. So I went for this walk. I look up for the second. I'm passing the trees, and I see the sun shine through for a hot second, and the clouds were kind of trickling over it. And I felt, it was like 1 second that it hit me, and I was like, oh, I felt so expanded, so free. I was like, God, I feel free. I literally said it out loud. And then what happened, I like was noticing where I was. So I made, you'd be so proud, girl. I made myself go back, and you guys, like, I literally stopped. I'm like in the middle of this like path, and I don't even fucking care because I love it. I stopped, I looked, and I took at everything around me. I looked at the stuff, like the clouds. I looked at the sun, and like I practiced the feeling of feeling. I literally swear to God, like, whether you believe me or not, I saw like sparkles everywhere. Because I was like, we really do live in this miraculous, abundant, full of life world where it's like God's source is all around us. And it's so beautiful when you can really tap in and be so present. Like Sarah was saying, that it's what that does. It expands your soul so much that, again, it goes back to, in that moment, all the blocks that you, my dear friends, you have put up, right, for yourself. It just, it comes down for that split second, and you literally get to experience all that you are. And whether you're taking this in and you're like, oh my God, like we are, or whether you're like, what the hell is she talking about? Like, tap into yourself for a second, like tap into that for your own self, and see how when you give yourself more chances to be present and really like pause and be present and feel how literally in this very moment, I have everything I could ever need. I really do. I'm full, I have all I need in this very second. And like taking that moment and expanding it more throughout the day, that's bringing this full circle is the embodiment we talk about, is knowing who you are. And that's how it trickles out to affect all the other 3D things, like your business and relationship and your health and your sales. Like, is that making sense? Like
it's one moment over and over and over again. It's not a one and done thing. It's one moment and then the next moment, But the thing is that's really magical about this is where your next $1 million idea is going to come from as well. It's going to happen when you're in the now, when you're in the moment. And it's not something that you can, as soon as you try to recreate it, as soon as you attempt to recreate the experience, you're already out of the experience. Does that make sense? You can't recreate it. It's not a moment that you can then recreate. It's only now. You're already it. You're already connected to all that is right fucking now. You already have divine source flowing through you right now. And the more you live in this presence with all that is flowing through you, that's where the ideas come from that you take action on and nothing else. Like, make your life easy. Quit doing all the shit that you're doing that is like coming from the mental body, from you trying to create it, and just take action on the few that are popping in when you're in complete alignment with the source that is flowing through you. You guys just make your you know, you can do it the hard way for as long as you want, or you can do it the fun, easy flowing way and just skip to the front of the line. You know what I mean? And
hard way sucks. Hard way sucks. Hard way sucks. It really does. And this is a smidge. Oh, this is so good. Sorry, go ahead, my girl. That was so good.
No, that was good. That's good. I think we're about ready to wrap this up because we have a training right after this. So yeah.
So I'm so pumped, you guys. First of all, thank you so much, everyone that's listening on the podcast, YouTube, Facebook. Hello, my friends. Instagram. Hello, gorgeous souls. Thank you for being here. Your next step, if any of this resonated and you feel any pull, go right now. I invite you to go to mine or Sarah's bio, and there's a link to register. There's very limited spots. This is going to be intimate and powerful. Embody the Empress immersion in a luxury spot in Scottsdale, the end of April. So go right now, because fuck yes, pricing ends Saturday, you guys. Saturday. And I've been the person that like knew I was going to go, waited too long because of whatever, and had to pay the extra. So take action now. The universe rewards. When you take massive action, you get massive rewards. So we are so pumped to see you there. And then I was going to say one other thing. Oh, I wanted to say this. Okay, this is what's coming up for me too. If you are new to me or Sarah, welcome into our space, you guys. And I'm really excited. If you have any questions, Sarah and I are so good. Do like a little voicemail back and forth. Any questions about this immersion? Even if you want to get to know us a little bit more, like if you feel the pull, you feel the call, but you're new to us, reach out. We'll do a couple voicemails back and forth so you can feel our hearts, our energy, because this is a smidge. Like, to be here in person with us and our VIP trainings by the pool, there's again, we're bringing it back to magic. There's magic that happens, and you are part of that co-creation in our dance with us. So I'm really, really excited to invite you. And if you know, so get on it. We'll see you there, and I'm really happy to be in person with you guys. So much love, you guys. All right, love you, girl. Have a good Wednesday, you guys.
Bye, guys. Namaste.
Bye.
Happy Friday.